All right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, my name is Muhammad Gifari. I would like to give my presentation in comparison word literature and the common denominator. So, the introduction is Charles Deleuze described philosophy as the inventions of new concept, a vacation for which more conservative thinkers blame him as irresponsible analogously, and without claiming the mental of philosophy. I think the job of the comparison is to the invert new relation among literary works and literation with things that have not been previously classed among literary works. How can we create the best working condition for the specialist consciously? That is question I want to briefly explore in this chapter is about comparative literature and the angle by which I would like to approach the current discussion of what is the word literature itself. So, one of Aristotle example of the riddling metaphor has an analogous structure, the cup of Aries. Aristotle contends that the word cup as to be analyzed and manipulated by the reader in such a way that it will not yield the nonsense meaning it offers at first sight. For Ares is not the god who deals in cups, that is Di- Dion Dionysus. For a cup here substitute instrument or vessel, sub, a semantic element common to and capable of serving as a verge equivalent of cups, wheels, hammers, swords, shields, and etc. A long tradition designed this element as the tertium comparisons, the third thing on which a comparison pivots with that the bizarre phrase uh, resolve first into unconventional one. The instrument of Eros is not unreasonable that Eros should have an instrument only required by public iconography, that he have the right one. And then into a more specific answers, a shield Aristotle despite a metaphor as a question in need of a solutions. Once you have found the answer, you are left with more than just analogy of a cup and shield. They are analogous as an instrument, the cup serving of symposia as the shield for battles, and both are round. You also have the history, the trail, the process, the discovery, which must be a valuable thing, or else such expression would not give people pleasure. Something like a certification resolving incompatible fraction into a single expression is what Aristotle thinks makes people eager to learn. A formula for learning, a metaphor for perception, and advances. Aristotle is one of the same. So the conclusion is, so how does the present practice of word literature deal with the problem common denominators by obliterating the problem as such, substituting itself for a missing conceptual of contextual pivot? How is the different of for saying I am the common denominator as I am my functional also example above, only because saying me is most surely nakedly acknowledgement of invented quality of the denominator. This seems like difference would nothing. Nonetheless, the substitution is not complete if you consider the example I've given. What seems to me incomplete about word literature as project, it is tendency to present itself as truth, awaiting discovery of with word everything that in any case, as the young Wittgenstein put it, then word literature is everything that is case about literature, but what about everything is not in case, or that hasn't been proposed as been case yet? The national literature framework needed to be discarded, but we shouldn't. use the epithet word. In that way makes word literature over and only determine negation of national narrowness and one-sidedness. Word literature can uh, word literature can be assumption about the corpus literature document of therefore unremarkable, a starting point rather than the goal towards which God encouraged us to be hastening, which not say, of course, that would literature complete, finished, that or useless a framework of investigation. Only that the ambiguity of its designation with the unfortunate suggestion of completeness and authority needs to be concreted by our making space for comparative projects that have as the object things that relation that are not part of word yet. So that's all about presentation in this week. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.